The top performers are proudly sponsored by Warrington Wolves Supporters Trust Squad Builder. Here are your top performers from round 26 of the Betfred Super League. All scoring 2 tries this week were Jay Field, Abba Smisky, Liam Marshall and Jack Farriman of the Wigan Warriors. The top try assisters also with 2, Jay Field of the Wigan Warriors, Aidan Caesar, Hull FC and Bevan French of the Wigan Warriors. The top metres made in the round came from Tristan Saylor of St Helens, 236. The most tackle busts came in the same game, Bailey Hodgson of the Lee Leopards with 13. Whilst the most clean breaks came from Max Jowett returning for Wakefield Trinity. The most hard metres made down the middle came from Tyler Dupree of the Wigan Warriors, 156 metres. Whilst the top tackler was Dean Hadley of the Robins, 53. And finally, the most goals kicked were 9 from 11 from Jack Farriman of the Wigan Warriors. These were your top performers from round number 26. This production comes to you in association with the Bluebell Warrington. Situated in an 18th century building in the town centre and just a 5-minute walk from the HJ Stadium, the Bluebell is the perfect destination for pre- and post-game food and drink. The 2024 Warrington Pub of the Year is now the official home of Super League Raw on Warrington World match days for both home and away supporters. Super League Raw are delighted to have agreed a members-only area, allowing our community to come together to discuss rugby league pre- and post-match. So set your course to the Bluebell Warrington on match days and beyond. You are sure to be greeted with a warm welcome and a cold beer. Super League Raw and the Bluebell, the perfect partnership in enhancing your match day experience. So good evening and welcome to Super League Raw Weekly. Good evening, gentlemen. Are we well?
Very well.
Marvellous. And if Jolie's watching over there on his holidays with his family, thank you for taking my advice. Enjoy your holiday, sir. We will see you when you get back. A very richly deserved family holiday for the Scholes family. Gentlemen, another weekend is coming on. A lot of surprises in round number 26. Without question, it's going to be a very interesting show this evening. Very interesting show indeed. We've got Brad O'Neill dropping in a bit later. I had an exclusive chat with Brad earlier today. There'll be that coming up for the Wigan posse. They'll be pleased with that. And also our first featurette of the partnership with the Sporting Wolves Squad Builder. That one as well is going to be premiering here this evening as well. Look behind the scenes at some of the heroes. Every club's got them, but of course Sporting Wolves Squad Builder, they've sponsored us this year, and as a part of that we're going to tell the story of their trip down to Australia, and that starts tonight as well. So all in all, boys, a pretty packed show, has to be said. Good evening to Rebecca Frey. Jill's with us from Canada. Hello, Jill. Looking forward to meeting Jill at the grand final. That'd be nice. Aidan Simpson with us. Big Aid, Big Simo, George Valentine. Hey up, George. Dawn Baker, Volstag's with us. Keith Lambert's with us. Billy Bradley. Evening, everyone. That's a new one. Billy Bradley. It's a new one. I can't remember saying Billy Bradley that often. But Billy, welcome to Super League Roast. Nicola Burton Wood has given us 4 kisses. We'll argue over the last one. Sam Kennedy, evening everyone. Up the Trin, I wonder who he supports. Steve Broomfield in there as well. Craig Forth, delighted to see so many Wigan Warriors players in the top performance. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what happens when you play a B team. It's just what happens, isn't it? You know, when you play a team that had so much simo. Anyway, we move on. Let's get on to it. Right, this time next week, we'll be 24 hours out from the quiz night at the Bluebell, 7 p.m. If you live in and around Warrington, you need to get there. Will not be online. Won't be online. You're going to come to do the quiz. You've got to be there, folks. You've got to be there. Some great prizes as well. Starts from 7 p.m. Why not treat yourself, get in a bit earlier and have some quality food at the Bluebell as well. Quiz night next Wednesday night at the Bluebell in Warrington. And if you don't like rugby league, there is a general knowledge quiz that will run alongside. I can't believe it. He hasn't listened to my advice. He's actually here. There he is. I can't believe it. Joel, what are you doing, Chief? I told you to have a night off.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm only on for a little bit. I've not got much charge on my phone. I ain't got the key for the villa. I thought, what better place to spend a Tuesday night than with my friends from Turkey.
Good Wi-Fi.
Good Wi-Fi. Yeah, you can come from Turkey every
better than Huddersfield.
Happy days. Volstagg has gone straight in with the super chat. It's open. Have a drink on me, chap, says Volstagg. Well done, Volstagg. Very well done. So, yeah, the Bluebell next week, 7 o'clock. Make sure you're there. The only the Rugby League quiz, and there's a general knowledge quiz alongside. Of course, this one's on its way. The Everton Stadium, still an opportunity for you to be there. You want to join the competition, do the QR code, go to our website, www.superleagueraw.com. Get your tickets for this. 2 tickets will be given away, courtesy of Super League Raw, for the second test match at the Everton Stadium. That's one not to be missed, ladies and gentlemen. So that's that out of the way. Right, let's, where should we start? Well, we always start by celebrating some milestones. So let's start there. Record breakers for round 26. Ryan Hall drew level with Paul Mueller at the weekend. 18th place now in the all-time scorers in the British game. 347. Well done to Ryan Hall. Bradley Dwyer made his 250th Super League appearance. Alex Mellor, his 200th. Mike McMeekin, 300 for his career. And Justin Sangari made his 150th for his career. Gentlemen, we extend our deepest best wishes to each and every one of them. Great milestones, gentlemen. Great milestones.
Indeed.
Mike McMeekin, 300.
Absolutely.
Good going now.
Great effort.
Good going now when you consider the position he plays. That's
forward. That's fantastic. Yeah,
it is indeed. And Adam Reeves, cheers to you all. If you're not a member, why aren't you a member? He's goading non-members, and somebody's just scanned the QR code. There you go, Adam. That's what happens, mate. Good lad. I think he was a bit disappointed last week that Craig Forth managed to snag a new member. Adam's on the hunt this evening. Nick Young, Wilson will be far better following Mike McMeekin to the Trin. Wanting Oliver Wilson, does Nick Young, of course. Looks like he's going to be on his way. Right, let's get straight into the news. There's loads to get through. Here we go. Banging or hanging?
This is what would Oliver say at Super League Raw. So on Sunday, Leroy Cudjoe had his last ever game at home, and he made it a good one by getting the win. He has had such a successful career and has been so crucial to the Cowbell Army. He has also made a couple of appearances for the England squad, and also been brilliant then as well. The powerful 37-year-old has also won many silverware over his career. He has been such a good talent to Super League and is personally an inspiration to me. I would also like to mention his discipline, which he is quite a respectful person. My favourite memory of Leroy was when he scored a crucial try to beat Hull FC at Magic Weekend. Well done, Leroy. What do you think, Super League Raw?
So there we go. Ollie's has had his say on the great Leroy Cudjoe, gentlemen. Joel, I'll let you kick off as you're a cowbell. Go on, mate. Must be delighted that young Ollie has, is a connoisseur of fine rugby league talent.
Yeah, that gave me goosebumps. Ollie, thank you very much. That was a very emotional day. Was that Leroy playing his last home game? He's still got one more week to go, of course, but to believe in the stadium he's played at all his career, it was a very emotional time. I believe there was a lot of moist eyes, wet eyes that were there at the game. I don't think anybody had a dry eye, that's for sure. Leroy is a gentleman in every case you could possibly think of. Of course, he's not the best player in the league, never has been. But what he has been is been a great advocate for the club of Huddersfield. He's a great rugby league professional. Leroy does the things that's unseen as well as seen. What a lot of people might not know is he turns up to a lot of the youth, the grassroots stuff. He's helped head coach lots of the grassroots clubs. I know he's done a lot up at Moll Green, and that's a localist team that Kobe plays for. Actually, Kobe plays for Moll Green, and Leroy, he's the type of bloke who tries creating a pathway for the youngsters, and hence his new role that he's going to be taking up is the perfect one for him. He's always somebody that's extremely clean. He's trained really hard, first one in, last one out, and he never says no to a photo. He's always got time for people, even when we've lost and all the players have come up. He's gone round every single fan he possibly could, and he just does everything that any club would ask for, and that's why Ken and Luke and the club and the fans just adore him, and that's why he has been given the title legend. As Luke says, that branded title of legend goes round far too quickly, but in this case at Huddersfield, he really was and is, and he'll go down there with the likes of Earl, Jermaine, and
yeah,
so on.
And I think his longevity, gives him that title for me personally. Steph, you heard us on Final Whistle saying that we hope and pray that Lee give him a fitting tribute and end to his career this coming Friday. I'm sure you'll share that sentiment. Do you think that your team will do the right thing and make sure that Leroy is given that fanfare on Friday?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do something. They're normally pretty good with stuff like that. But yeah, I agree with Ollie. He's been a fantastic player for Super League. But I think the most impressive thing, when anybody stays with one club throughout the career, is a phenomenal achievement, and he should be held in the highest regards at Huddersfield. But also someone who played for England as well. He's played at the highest level. And we're very lucky that Lee, that we get to see his final ever game. So it's going to be an honour to watch him on Friday night.
Indeed, mate. Indeed, that's a very nice touch indeed. And Greg, you like me have always marvelled in the ability of the man.
Yeah, I mean, what else can I add to what the lads have already said? The guy's an unsung hero. He's one of those guys that is given a job to do and does it well to the best of his abilities. There's very few positions I don't think Leroy's played in. As Greg Roach has said in the chat there, he's even scored against the Australians, which not many English players have done over the years. Yeah. A consummate professional, an unsung hero. Build a statue in the middle of Huddersfield, I say.
Yeah, I could understand that, such as his longevity. Without doubt, quality player, great guy, great that he's staying in the game as well. Of course, let's not got any slides for this, but let's talk it anyway. Hull FC have picked up James Bell, and they picked up another bachelor. I'm not so sure about Joe, I'll be honest. I think they've probably got players there already that probably are slightly better than Joe, if I'm being perfectly honest. But I think James Bell's a good pickup. I think that's a great pickup. What's your thoughts on James Bell, boys, going to FC?
Great signing for them.
Yeah, they'll probably rotate him with Asiata, won't they? If Asiata can get himself fit. But I think the biggest thing for James Bell is I don't think he's had enough game time at Saints. So hopefully he can get a bit more game time at FC, because we all know on his days he's a class player. Not only in attack but defensively as well. He's very good. So yeah, it's a good pickup for FC. I just hope they can get the use out of him a bit more than what Saints did.
Another super chat comes in from Mark Hill. He enjoyed meeting up with Greg on Sunday before the game. He's loving the laughs, joys, and sorrow of being a member, and he's inviting people, as Adam is, to join him and the other members in this wonderful community of friendship and the great game of rugby league. Joe, based on the fact that they're losing Morgan Knowles, are you surprised that they're letting James Bell go, especially considering they haven't announced a replacement for Knowles?
Yeah, I am. But then again, they're very good at surprising us with some last-minute signings that you don't expect, and they turn out to be quite well. So, yes, surprised, but I'm also not surprised that they'll get somebody in who's the right fit. But, sometimes they might have somebody lined up, and they've just kept it quiet because they like to do that for PR.
Greg, Oliver Partington's been a player that has been rumoured going to Saints, whether that's going to happen or not, whether that gets announced or not. But as Catalan have found, Ollie, a great defender. I love Oliver Partington. I think he's a good, honest workhorse in the middle. James Bell has got both sides to the game. He's got a big hit on him, and he's got good ball handling skills. And as we've seen with Ben Garcia these last few weeks for Catalan, when he's gone back into loose forward, again, are you amazed that Bell's been allowed to lead, considering his qualities?
I am, and I also agree with what the lads have said that he's been underused at Saints. He's been kind of the 999 call when somebody's been injured. They brought James Bell in, and he's a talented player. A great loose forward, can defend, but can also link up with the backs and be another link between the forwards and the backs. That's what loose forwards all about. It's a ball playing forward that takes pressure off the halves. So I am surprised, but as Joel said, don't be surprised if Saints pull something out of the hat and floor us with a major signing before next season starts. Morgan Knowles is a big loss for them. His size and his defence as well. So yeah, I think there's a few players leaving Saints has been announced this week, as a lot of clubs have announced. A lot of players have been leaving over these last few weeks. So time for a refresh, and clearly Bell doesn't fit into that idea of what Saints have got going forward. Clearly not.
Well, I know listening to St. Helens fans, for example, I'll just use Liam Byrne as an example. Even these two, to be fair, it's been rumoured that these two are going to Hull FC for quite a while. There is very little rumour about who's going to Saints.
Yeah.
Very little. So if I'm a Saints fan, I'm really worried because I'm seeing all these players go, and a couple of them young players as well, good, talented young players, leave the club, and not an awful lot of announcements in terms of reinforcements. But anyway, they've got enough to worry about. Like I say, it's winter. They've got to get through training sessions. More on that a bit later on, I'm sure, when we get into the detail. But well done to Ollie, where Leroy Cudjoe.
Great point, Ollie. Well done, mate.
Outstanding. And Heather Bailey as well. She's gone in. She's buying a super chat, raising a glass to Leroy Cudjoe. We'll join you, Heather. We'll join you. We'll raise a glass to the health and prosperity of one Mr. Leroy Cudjoe. I'll have a good slurp of this. Here we go. For the podcast. Right, okie dokie. Let's get into some fine debate between us. And we've got to start here. Was this the greatest playoff game of all time? What a game. Canberra Raiders against the Brisbane Broncos. Oh, yes. Absolutely wonderful. It was like being in a massage parlour, oiled up. Oh, I was relaxed. I was absolutely... Behave yourself, Greg. I was relaxed. I was enjoying it so much. I felt all my tension leave me body. It was a wonderful bit of fare. It had everything. It had Ethan Strange. It had, Staggs. It had Payne Haas playing on one leg. It had Reece Walsh in incredible form. Is he rapidly going to be competing with the likes of Nathan Cleary, the best player in the world if he carries on going the way he is? And then Walsh actually produces a final 15 minutes akin to the great man Nathan Cleary in the grand final of 2023 against the Brisbane Broncos. We had crossbar challenges. We had a penalty after the final whistle to make it 28-all. We had a golden point. Oh, and then we had a disallowed try for the Canberra Raiders as well before Ben Hunt, badoom, gets his second ever drop goal from 40 metres to clinch it for the Brisbane Broncos. Oh, yes, this is rugby league football of the finest pedigree. If you've not seen it, you need to go and see it. Gregory, as a Brisbane Broncos fan, you must have been coming off the ceiling, mate.
Well, I was very, very disappointed. I was crushed with about 15 minutes to go, and I was crushed at the final whistle, thinking, well, that's it for another year. And then all of a sudden, the challenge comes in. They're looking at what's happened before. I must admit, I've seen them not given, but yeah, I was absolutely jumping up and down when that drop goal went over. What a great game! You know, the Aussies seem to raise the bar every single season, and what a game. You think the state of origin is good, and when they come out with something like that, fantastic.
Magic!
I got that excited. I nearly ordered a Broncos shirt off the internet.
It was more magic. Magic than more magic than Saints. It was magic.
Joel, did you see it, mate? Canberra against Brisbane?
No, but I saw the highlights. It was a very good game.
Mate,
it looks really good.
Sun lounger, mate. Watch the full thing.
The problem is, over here, you don't have the rights to be able to watch it. All you get to see is the highlights, so I'll have to watch it when I get back.
Sure, it'd be on YouTube, won't it?
Yeah. On YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just incredible. It was like a Hollywood blockbuster, Sam Holt said. Steph, what a game. What a game.
I've not seen it.
Have you not? Unbelievable. Well, all I would say, boys, is, as Mr. Nixon will tell you, you have missed a treat. This was, without doubt, one of the greatest playoff games. It might even go down as one of the greatest games of all time. It had everything. Absolutely everything. 15 minutes to go, 28 points to 12 down the Bronx. Oh, it was unbelievable. It was, tell you.
Thankfully, we've not spoilt it for Steph, so he can watch it and not know who's won it.
Well, it doesn't matter if you've watched it. Just watch it anyway. You will absolutely love it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we love the great game of rugby league. When there's a game of this quality, you've just got to go and watch it. So those who are listening, those who are watching, telling you now, if you haven't watched the full 93 minutes of beautiful rugby league football, then my suggestion to you all will be go and get it watched. You won't be disappointed. Oh, yes, indeed. Well done to every single gladiator that took the park. Wow, just wow. And if that wasn't good enough, it's back this weekend for more. Here it is. Yes, sudden death final one Saturday. These will all be on Sky. Raiders taking on the Sharks. I mean, the Raiders thought they'd won it. They scored a try at 80 minutes and he got chalked off. Unbelievable. They thought they were in it. They were celebrating, yada, yada, yada. And, well, the rest, as they say, is history. Now they've got to beat the Sharks. Have to beat the Sharks. Wow. And then the Canterbury Bulldogs going up against the Panthers.
That's going to be a game. That is going to be a game, that.
This is what we're talking about. Who needs other sport? There's no other sport. No other sport. Get on this. Absolutely outstanding. Ooh, I'm out of breath just thinking about it.
We've got a friend of Joel's from Turkey in the chat there.
Can be sick. Have you been giving tips to the waiters again, Joel?
That is the owner of Chinatown in Dalian. If you're in around Dalian, you've got to try him. He's a good friend of mine, and they make incredible Chinese and Indian food. Other brands are available, of course, out there.
Well done, Judy.
To sponsor us next season.
Well done, Judy Chalmers. Outstanding. Right, let's get into this one. Player of the Year awards. In fact, let's get that move to the other side so we can see the lovely Mr. Seb. That's the wrong graphic. Let's get that replaced. Do you know what? I was that confident, Joel. It was going to be Flanagan. I got ahead of myself. Unbelievable. We're going to have to change that. Because can you believe in your absence that the Giants have named Jacob Gagai your Player of the Year?
Yeah, I am very shocked. He's definitely not being the Player of the Year. He's been very good, but he's certainly not been the Player of the Year. There's been many other candidates for that role. Zach Wolford, George Flanagan, most importantly, I'd say. I think you could even put Kieran Rush in there towards back end of the season, how well he's been playing compared to some of his compadres. But yeah, I was very surprised to see Gags in there.
Yeah, I was stunned, absolutely stunned. I know George got the young player, didn't he? But I mean, he had to get that one. I just find that, yeah. I mean, Jacob's been getting slowly but surely better, and as the season's gone on, I think Steph, you said that, didn't you? As the season's gone on, he's got stronger.
He has. I think the only comment to that would be unbelievable, Jeff. It's Chris Kamara lookalike, but no, he has improved as the season's gone on. He's had some really good games, but yeah, no, I think Wilson's been better than him. You know, in terms, I know Wilson's missed some games, but Flanagan for me.
Yeah, I agree. A couple that quite obvious, Greg. Let's go the man in the middle, Morgan Knowles. It had to be Knowles at Saints, didn't it? Had to be.
Oh, I would have thought so. Yeah, I think probably a little bit of a golden handshake because he's off at the end of the season. Yeah, another one of those seasons for Saints where they flatter to deceive at times, and they're in the six. Yeah, I think he deserves it, Morgan Knowles. Again, a couple of injuries in the season, and they've looked a bit rudderless when he's not been in there. I've got to admit. Yeah, I've got no arguments with Morgan Knowles. He's you know, we a few years ago we did give him a few pelters, but I think he's proved us wrong over the last couple of seasons. Morgan Knowles, when he's fit and he's in full force, he's a great player.
Hank Scorpio, what a great name. Wilson has missed too many games, and you're right. And I think Steph says that had he been fully fit all season, he probably would have pushed Ollie Wilson. Harry Robertson got there young, no issue with that. Again, something tells me next year if he can stay fit, Owen Dagnall might follow him next year. Such was his right this year. The Leeds Rhinos, Presley Cassell got their young player of the year. Jake Connor, their player of the year. If ever there was a Lazarus in Super League, it's Jake. What a season he's had. Do we think Jake, this is going to be quite controversial. Again, I've not totted up our points yet, and of course Milestones behind the wall at the moment, but based on Mikey Lewis's current form and how close these were in all of the league tables, do you think that Jake might now be pipping him, lads, for Man of Steel? Where do you think that'll be? Because Mikey's been off, hasn't he, for the last few weeks?
They only have to get into the top three, don't they? And then it's selected by a panel. So I think he'll still be in the top three. He probably I don't know if they'll announce whether he was one or not. I don't know whether they do that. I can't remember. But I think Connor's only problem is that Miller's had a few man of the matches as well, hasn't he? So, but even so, I think Connor's been getting 2 or 1s in those games as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was top.
I mean, and you've got to be honest, Greg. At the start of the season, you wouldn't have had Jake Connor down for Man of Steel, would you? But he could pip Lewis there.
Yeah, I still think Mikey Lewis will scrape it, but yeah, you know, without going through too much of the detail on Connor, he's never seemed to kind of fulfill his I nearly said the word again. He's never seemed to fill his potential. I'm going to say it.
Well, yeah,
the clubs he's been at, but this season a revelation. And do you know what? I know he's a controversial character and he gets under players' skins, but I'm delighted for him. I'm delighted that he's had this season because when he's on form, he's a superb player. He really is. Whether he'll be, you know, whether he'll force his way into the England squad or the England team against the Aussies, I'm not so sure because I don't think he's Sean Wayne's type of player.
No.
We'll get
to that.
On his day, he's unplayable.
Yeah. I mean, again, people, Dawn Baker in the chat going about Lachlan. I think Lachlan, for whatever reason, was probably slightly too far behind when things went behind the wall. But Lam has been outstanding. I mean, again, wouldn't surprise me if he polls incredibly high at the end of the season. Lammy's been outstanding. Joel, Alex Mellor, love Alex Mellor. I've never had a bad word said about Alex Mellor. I was delighted to see that Casford Tigers made him their player of the season. I completely concur with this one. I think Mellor's has been his usual quality self for the Casford Tigers, despite those around him.
Alex has always been a good player.
Yeah.
I think the great thing about him is he's looked great this year because he's played really well in a really struggling side. I know they had a few good games at the start of the season. We all thought, oh, here we go. You know, cast on to something here. But then, you know, Alex has just been consistent. Like Jake Connor, just consistent all through the year. Yeah. And when they're getting these accolades, you know, it's great for them. But it's even better for the club because you start to see that they're really appreciating the quality that they've got. And that is one of the many ways that you can keep hold of a player, you know, with a bit of loyalty.
Yeah, Louis Mellor's work this year. So they're the current ones. I think I think KR's is this weekend. I think there's a couple coming up this weekend as well. So we'll keep revisiting this. But with the exception of Gagai, I've got no issue. I've got no issue with the rest. But I think Jacob Gagai, Huddersfield Giants, there's a little bit of, we've spent a lot of money on this guy. We better make it look as if it was money well spent. I don't know where Tom Burgess was in it, to be honest, but I'm sure he enjoyed the buffet.
To be fair, Gagai's scored some important tries this season.
Well, he has, but he's not been Flanagan.
Yeah.
He's not been Flanagan. Good evening to
Flanagan's been out with injuries, hasn't he?
Bazza Kingston on holiday, and he's with us. Good evening, Baz. I hope you're all enjoying the sunshine wherever you are. And he's also had a video call with Joel. So it looks as if those boys have been, comparing and contrasting their white marks. We'll leave that just in the ether. We know the close, we'll just leave it there. By all accounts, Joel has donned a thong this year. He wants to get as much sun as he can. Yes, by all accounts, to his fan club, Joel is willing to send autograph photos. But we'll take that offline. We'll take that offline.
Calendars are coming in the post.
Absolutely, we'll take that offline. Right, the applications are in. No Salford Red Devils. Salford are gone, and I think that's a wise move on Salford's part. They're gone. They're not going to be there next year. That is now well and truly kaput. North Wales Crusaders, they've decided to ditch their bid as well, and we know, of course, that Hull FC, they put not Hull FC, Casford Tigers have pulled theirs. Didn't we find that? I mean, obviously confident, aren't they? They're confident they're staying in. So they must have been given assurances that they're staying in. They must be really confident in the score. What did you make of that, Casford pulling out of the application process?
Well, if they're going to be over 15 points and they're confident, fair play to them. Because if they're going to be grade A, you can't be relegated. As simple as that. So, I mean, why waste your time on it if you know you're going to be in?
Yeah, they've got to be very, very confident that they've hit.
There's things to worry about for Castleford, haven't they?
I suppose they have. Yeah, I suppose they have. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't see Doncaster. I'm sorry, Doncaster fans. I don't see it. I don't see Widnes. I really, really don't. We know FC are in, so there's no point in talking about that. Huddersfield, again, I think it's unlikely that Huddersfield wouldn't be in. Be unlikely at this stage. So I think in terms of the three that are coming up, I still think it's between Bradford, Oldham, York, London, and Toulouse. I think they're the key players. Would you agree for the extra two spots?
Yeah, and the noises that are coming out of London this week. This takeover. They've got to think they've got a great chance. Got to think they've got a great chance. The noises they're making, especially last couple of weeks.
Well, I had a long conversation yesterday morning on behalf of the Super League Raw community with Mark Applegarth, passing on our congratulations to his side for winning last week. We'll get into that in a bit more detail in a minute. And he actually shared my sentiments that he highlighted that, it's one to go, Dave. He said that to me. It's one to go. We want to win. We want to win the grand final. And the team that he really gave a lot of praise to and is concerned about is Oldham, which we've been saying. We've been saying that Oldham on the field, the way they've been improving, the players that they've got. He has said that, they play a good expansive style of rugby. They've got some great players, and he thinks that Oldham will go very, very well in the playoffs, which didn't surprise me when he said that.
No, they'll go well. The Oldham will be good, but I think for me, it's just one season too close. For Oldham. I think potentially them and Toulouse may come up to make it a 16-team comp next time round.
Fair enough. If you're watching on YouTube, on Facebook, please go over to YouTube for us. It helps us to grow the channel. You won't miss a thing. Just shoot across to YouTube, Super League Raw. Subscribe and ring the bell while you're there. That way you get a notification every time we go live. And we go live a lot here on Super League Raw. We give you a lot of great content over the way. But anyway, we'll keep a close eye on this. Obviously, just wanted to make everybody aware that Salford have pulled out, and of course, Castleford have pulled out, albeit Castleford are very confident that they are going to be in it next year. Right, let's get through the last couple of news stories in the Whoops, in the usual fashion. Don't know what happened there. Let's bring Greg in. Greg, we'll start with you, and we'll start with this one. Justin Holbrook has been put in as the new head coach of the Newcastle Knights. Do you know how long ago it was since he left Saints?
Well, he was in charge for the 2019 Challenge Cup final.
Great knowledge, sir. Great knowledge.
I reckon 4 or 5 years.
Correct, sir. He had a win percentage of 80% at Saints. Of course, he left there and went to Gold Coast Titans, where he had a 37%. He lost 51 games out of 87 at Gold Coast. He's now got this chance at Newcastle, hanging, banging. And is this Justin's real last hurrah in the NRL? Has he got to get this one right?
You've got to remember that Gold Coast were quite a new team. Yeah. So, he had to put the building blocks in place of a fairly new team. So, we're nearly on a 40% win rate in the NRL. When you look at it like that, that's not too bad. He's obviously still gutted that he turned the Warrington job down a couple of years ago, and he's trying to, get over that by going to Newcastle Knights. I think, his last hurrah, quite possibly, but I think he'll do a good job. I hope he does a good job. I do quite like Justin Holbrook. He can have a good whinge like the rest of us, but I do quite like Justin Holbrook. He's a decent coach as far as I'm concerned. I think he'll do a good job at Newcastle. I think banging.
You're going banging. Well done, mate. Outstanding. We'll say goodbye to Greg. We'll bring in Joel from Turkey. And Ken David announces that the Giants, not spelt like that, of course, are staying put in 2026. They're not going anywhere, Joel. Good news for the Giants, banging or hanging?
It's hanging in most respects because, had the appeal from the other company gone in about the new ground or the stadium for us to use Halifax, we'd have probably got in there a bit sooner. But it's banging in the sense of he knows what he's doing. He don't want to keep people up in the air and potentially lose a load more money in the process of it. If the supporters can get their heads out the backside and just be happy to be all in one stand and make it an actual atmosphere, then it would be quite a banging opportunity. Which I think if they do that, which they did flirt with it last year, earlier this year, then it's banging. But I know that is our final year.
Fair enough, mate. Thanks for that. And then finally, Mr. Sale will bring you in. And unlike other broadcasts, we're not going to pour cold water on this. We'll celebrate it. Record attendance 2025, my friend. This is something to celebrate, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's one of the big fears, wasn't it, with every game being televised, that we'd see attendance dipping. So no, this is great, and it's great news when you're negotiating broadcast deals and selling the sport to potential investors, isn't it, as well? So no, great news, absolutely banging this for Super League. Hey, Dave.
It's going my apologies. Yes, like I say, it's a great news for the sport. Brilliant news for the sport. Going in the right direction, both on and off the field in terms of viewing figures on Sky and other places. But of course, as you rightly say, Mr. Sale, people going to the ground. Rebecca Frey goes in and says, have a drink on me. Rebecca's looking forward to perhaps going to another game this weekend. Loving the rugby league this year is our Rebecca. Right. Okay. As you can see there in the top right-hand part of the screen, we have two principal sponsors. We have the Bluebell in Warrington, but we also have Warrington Wolves Supporters Trust Squad Builder. And we do appreciate that there's pathways across all clubs. And the beautiful thing about this sponsorship arrangement this season is we thought it'd be really, really good to tell the story of what these unsung heroes do, and you'll have them at your club as well. I mean, I recognise the fact that there's a lot of fans that don't see behind the scenes, don't go as deep into their pathways and to people like Squad Builder. So I decided, as part of the sponsorship, that we'd tell that story and we'd chart their way to Australia this year. And it gives us a chance to have a little bit of a rest. And I hope you enjoy episode 1. This is Squad Builder at the Warrington Wolves and us paying tribute to him as one of our principal sponsors. Here we go. The Warrington Wolves, a name entrenched in the Super League era, encompassing Challenge Cup victories, League Leaders' Shield triumphs, and whilst it's always their year, multiple bridesmaid appearances at the grand final. For many years, Warrington Wolves have been renowned for being a buying club, littered with high-profile names from the Southern Hemisphere. However, the direction of the club is changing. Under Director of Rugby Gary Chambers, the club is on the verge of realising years of investment and development of their youth pathways, with an exciting group of young men who could be a golden generation of homegrown players for the Warrington Wolves. But behind every good Super League graduate is their beginnings, and at the Warrington Wolves that starts with a group of dedicated volunteers who support the development of each young player to realise their dreams of playing for the Wire and in Super League. This is the story of the Warrington Wolves Supporters Trust Squad Builder. Meet the chair of the Warrington Wolves Supporters Trust Squad Builder, Alex Chicken. And who better than to walk us through the humble beginnings of this brilliant project?
For those who don't know, talk us through Squad Builder. What is Squad Builder?
Right, Squad Builder. We're actually full title Warrington Wolves Supporters Trust, formed in 2002 when the club were having difficulties in terms of finance and performance and all sorts. And they were formed by club staff actually at the time. We were the first Rugby League Supporters Trust to be formed. There were several football clubs had supporters trusts. So, and it was basically to get people, the supporters together to help the club survive, basically. Anyway, once we came past that initial phase, we've sort of reverted. The main cause was to support the development of the young players, the youth development, and that's basically our main remit, and that's where we are now. Really.
Sometimes to the benefit, sometimes not. Oh, that's a lovely, lovely dummy. Here goes Ewan. He's going to back himself. Here comes the hat-trick from the young man. Outstanding stuff. Congratulations. What a great performance it's been today. There's the Warrington, obviously, there's what you do here, but other clubs have similar as well. You know, we've got to say that. But from your perspective, you know, why do you do it? You know, because let's be fair, it takes up a lot of your time. What is the driver for Alex and the team to do what you do for Warrington Wolves?
Yeah, well, as you rightly say, you know, there's a committee of us to say we have membership, and then our board meets regularly. It's just the pride in knowing that you're supporting these young players. We're here at the academy game today. We know all the lads, you get to know the families, and it's just that pride. Again, going back to last night, just something so recent. The pride of seeing those boys develop and to see them come through, and to know that we're helping on their rugby league pathway. Yeah. Yes, we'd love them all to play for the Wire, but to be fair, we're actually providing a platform for a career in rugby league.
So it's pride, dedication and commitment that drives Warrington Wolves Supporters Trust Squad Builder. And while supporters enjoy what happens on the field, those behind the scenes respect the heavy lifting done by Alex and her team.
Yeah, we couldn't function without them. You know, I can't give any bigger endorsement than that. What they do to support us is like invaluable. You know, what the time the most important thing you can give in your life is time, and by God, they give some pile of time and commitment and support, and they're fiercely protective of our own. And Alex leads that, does an unbelievable job, must take every hour of the day to do what she does, and then everybody else who supports, you know, they're an incredible group of people.
It's selfless, isn't it? Like, without them, I don't think we'd be like as a team as we are, because they do everything for us. The amount of money they put towards us off their own good of the heart. Yeah, it's ridiculous how much they do for us, and I don't know where we'd be without them.
They'll stay with you for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Definitely. He's got you going in your career.
Yeah, definitely.
Good man.
It's massive. The work they do is absolutely unbelievable. I've said it to them a few times. As a pathway, they're our secret weapons. You know what I mean? We're so lucky to have them. Obviously headed by Alex and the team she runs. They're an extension of our pathway staff, and What we're doing now and the growth of our pathway wouldn't be possible without their support, and obviously the tour is a big factor in that, and obviously they're a huge driver behind that tour.
Join us next time as our attention turns to preparations for the Warrington Wolves Academy's Tour of Australia 2025, made possible by Warrington Wolves Supporters Trust Squad Builder. So there you go, boys. There you go. Part one. Obviously, very proud of our association, and thank you to Supporters Trust Squad Builder for sponsoring us in 2025. Something that they're looking to continue in 2026, which is great. And like I said in that video, Greg, you know, Squad Builder, what they do, and there'll be other, you know, similar foundations and trusts around. Well, it's a trust in Warrington's case. This one do a lot of work behind the scenes that really puts these young men on the road to Super League.
Yeah, and it's just not just them as well, you know, with the foundation as a whole, you know, with the PDRL and the LDRL, and the you know, we've had problems with the women's team this year, but women's rugby league and girls rugby league in the town, you know, they deserve all the praise you get, and I thought you did a real good job there, Dave, by the way. But yeah, you know, for me, that is a real example of what rugby league is all about, with the community involvement. And, you know, yeah, we get other sporting organisations who do this kind of thing. But for me, rugby league is about the community, and this is a perfect example of that. And it's being replicated at rugby league clubs up and down the country. So, you know, fair play to the volunteers who give the time. Can't praise them enough for the work that they do. And I've seen that close hand being involved with the women's team for the last 3 or 4 years. So, yeah, love the work they do, and it's vital, because we know that rugby league doesn't have the riches that other sports do, and these people are vital to keeping this great game that we love going, and being a success and bringing these players through.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joel, you know, you'll have similar initiatives at the Giants. I mean, all the money for the Australia tour has been raised by Squad Builder at Warrington. That's how big it is. And we're talking, you know, I think well in excess of 100 grand to get them over there. I mean, I think it's about 150 grand they needed to raise. I mean, that is one hell of a commitment. And I know other, you know, academy players are going over to Australia, other clubs as well, and they'll be similar, looking to raise funds. It's incredible what these volunteers do around all of Super League, isn't it?
It really is, and I've been privileged to be able to be at a few of these events for the Warrington Wolves, and it's amazing how the club is so entrenched in the youth and the development of such. And I love how Sam Burgess has got so involved with the young ones. You know, it isn't just the first teamers and the reserves that he's talking to, and as these connections with it, is these academy builders. And I think it's just incredible. And I got talking to a couple of the young players, and you know, they're so grateful for the opportunities they've got. One young lad who came from Union is now playing. I forgot his name now. Tall lad who was playing Union before. He's now come to Warrington and said it's just a different ball game.
Yeah.
You know, the attention to detail and the professionalism, even at their level, is just something that he's just not used to, and he's definitely, you know, benefited from. So when we talk about grassroots and academy level and scholarship level, you know, these are the future stars of our game and the people that are going to keep the game going. So any opportunities we have to help and be a part of their growth, people like Alex, they're invaluable. You can't put a price on these people, because these are the ones that are creating these stars. And Tom McKinney said it himself, didn't he? You know, without them, he wouldn't have had his future. So, yeah, massive props to Alex and the team.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, obviously, I'm very aware that that's a Warrington thing, but it's the same across all clubs, you know. And I think people that don't see that, and again, there's going to be another couple of parts of this, plus the Australia tour. So it's a real behind the scenes at academy level at what goes on at a Super League club. We're just very privileged to be able to bring that to you throughout the next few weeks and months. Steph, I mean, look, from a first team perspective, putting on a show and all the rest of it, Lee Leopards can teach Warrington an awful lot. But obviously, as a club that's just been given an academy license, and you've seen the academy set up at Warrington yourself, close hand. What Alex has done. What all the players that we're seeing now, the likes of Ewan Irwin, James Duffy, Kai Taylor, Ray, Aaron Lindop. They've all come through squad builder before they've got to become reserves at Warrington. As a Lee Leopards fan, you'll be wanting to see as equally as passionate and dedicated people as that team at the Leopards to put your young lads on the right path as well, won't you?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, the volunteers at any club are the heartbeat of the club and the town. The effort they put in, to raise that money. And I've been very privileged this year to attend a couple of the squad builder events with yourself and Reggie and Joel, and the effort they've put into them, without getting paid, just for the love of doing is inspirational. And for my club, obviously, we're just starting out on our elite academy journey. We've got the foundations that are with a great guy in Kieran Purtle, who's also in charge of the women's team and doing all that as well. He's got some people with him now, and you can see that growing. And this is what. If Lee do want to have a true elite academy, they need to start replicating what the clubs like Wigan are doing, what the clubs like Saints, Warrington are doing. And I know that has already started, and I know that there's investment starting to go in there. Now, we're very lucky at Lee that we're one of the clubs that are actually making profit, and I know that profit is being earmarked to invest in the academy. So hopefully we'll see similar things. But what it does take is those volunteers. And one thing that Lee has got, just like Warrington, is we're blessed with some great people who will invest the time and their knowledge into the game, which is fantastic. How are you, Dave?
I'm having to do that because, unfortunately, dog. But anyway, move on. I will shoot it one day. The elephant in the room, Dave, from Greg Roach. Will they continue to promote from within Warrington? They're already doing it, Greg. Aaron Lindop will be starting centre next year. Jake Fearless has come through squad builder. His brother Jake is almost undroppable now. Believe you me, young Ewan Irwin, who will get a game against KR this week. Ewan is an incredible talent. Leon Hayes is another one. So, the fact that Warrington are giving low shirt numbers to these lads, it's already started. But the good news from a Warrington perspective is there's more where that came from. And that's why Warrington, I think, will be bringing it. Yeah, and it's like they need to bring experience and quality people in around them as part of their development. So will they continue to buy Australians, or will they continue to bring in the likes of Liam Byrne at 26 from Wigan? Yeah, because Liam's coming from a Wigan team that have won things, so that should enhance the culture. But what we're seeing is Warrington are promoting already from within, and I think they will continue to do so. The whole point of us doing this squad builder thing here tonight as well is not just to promote Warrington. Guys, you guys that watch us every week, a lot of you have become friends, and we know how passionate you are about the great game of rugby league. Get involved. Understand what goes on at grassroots levels in your club, because the closer you get to it, the more you'll support it. You need to go to more academy games. You need to go to more reserve games. Normally, they're free as part of your season tickets, and a lot of you who are watching us will be season ticket holders. So these games cost you nothing but your time to go, and the quality of the rugby league that you'll see is of the highest standard. So please, be really. We hope you buy into what we're doing here. Go and support these initiatives at your club, and believe you me, you'll feel a lot closer to your clubs as well when you do. I think the only thing that has saved my bacon this year, whereas from Warrington is concerned, I know what's going on underneath, and if I didn't, then I'd probably be on these people on social medias who say I'm not renewing my season ticket. A lot of them are just high level first team. We don't have anything underneath it, and they expect the great Houdini to produce a player from nowhere for them. Whereas when you go and watch at that level across your teams, it just gives you that little bit of perspective. And again, great players, some really, really good players down there. So hopefully you'll enjoy episode 2 when that comes out. But that was episode 1. And, to all of us, to Alex and all the team at Squad Builder, thanks again for sponsoring us this year. It's been a great partnership. Thank you very much indeed. Right, it's time for this. You little ripper. Take a bow, son. Take a bow. Yes, it's that time again where we're going to take a little bit of a bow. Joel, at any point he's going to go. He might have already gone. He said that his battery's
Phone was dying.
Yeah, his battery's dying. So Joel may have left. But what a great effort in coming in from Turkey. Right.
Good lad.
For those on the podcast, we're looking at a Huddersfield Giants 22, Salford 8 is the graphic on the screen. And Keith Openshaw, a Workington Town fan, so no vested interest, a Workington Town fan, has to say fair play. I did actually like this one, actually. He said, the commentators do a wonderful job giving you two matches at the same time. The one you're watching plus the one they're commentating on.
I can agree with that.
Oh, fantastic. Rod Stodd and Courtney Winfield will do their best at the weekend, but Keith was not a fan. Keith, mate, good effort. Love that. Very, very well played, sir. Right, we go to number 2. Surprise, surprise. We have a picture of Kyle Felt and Rob Sando, a Lee Leopards fan. Do you know what? I have to say, what a wonderful, caring community rugby league is. Because Rob Sando said, any update on Kyle Felt? Sending prayers. Well done, Rob, lad. Absolute comedy.
That was incredible.
Oh, mate.
Incredible.
Just embarrassing. I mean, we had a right good chuckle on final whistle over it.
Yeah, I couldn't make final whistle, unfortunately, but, you know, I'm sure you did. That was incredible.
It was, and again, the Wigan, you know, we have people go, Wigan fans are still deluded that Harry Smith was taking the mickey. It's like, wow, colours distorting reality. But anyway, there you go. And look, we're going to do wobbles in a minute. Yeah, I'm fair. Got to be fair. Warrington are the gift that keeps giving. And Robert Jones, a Wire fan. Do you know what? I love it when somebody just tries to lift the mood.
Which is a hard job at Warrington.
It is, because Rob Jones, you're my winner this week, because I absolutely love this. He says, look on the bright side. Wire are undefeated in making people laugh. Is it true that the shirt sponsor for next year is the Comedy Store?
It'd be funny if it wasn't so true.
I heard it was Royal Mail because they don't deliver on a Sunday either.
Hello.
Steady, they're all coming out. But yeah, well done. Outstanding. Love that. Absolutely love that. Well done, Rob. That did make me chuckle. Very well done. Right, let's carry on. We've already been here. This brought to you in association with Action for Alfie, which of course we are proud to continue to support. And we announced last week that coming to the Bluebell in February, the date is to be confirmed, but probably the first week in February, we're going to be doing live from the Bluebell. Danny Walker already in attendance. St. Helens fans, open your ears. George Whitby will be joining us as well. That's a big one. Young George, Danny Walker. We are expecting Lee Leopards as well. We'll continue to announce it's going to be a great launch to Super League again, and all proceeds will be donated to Action for Alfie so that he and his family can do as much of that bucket list as possible. So more details on that coming. But yeah, Action for Alfie will continue to fly the flag. But yeah, York Knights, well done to you. League Leaders Shield winners. Many, many congratulations to Mark Abelgab. We're hoping to get Mark on the show as well in the coming weeks for obvious reasons. This is the league table. This is the final 6. Widnes Vikings disappointingly missing out. Doncaster's had a shocking run of form. They, of course, have dropped out, but it is York and Toulouse who get the bye week. Oldham, Bradford will be playing Featherstone. Oldham playing the Halifax Panthers. These are the games. One of them, again, unbelievable. The Oldham game is on the Sportsman on Friday night, competing with Super League, which I just find very odd. Very odd.
Yeah, it's been criticised all over social media, the timings of these games.
Yeah, very surprising. I mean, and again, you'd have thought these would have been Sunday. Yeah. No Super League. You just thought it would have been Sunday. Yeah. Right. Anyway, Bradford Featherstone, unbelievably, if you were just looking a moment ago, of course, Bradford played Featherstone this weekend, just gone, and won. So that's a good omen. They also beat me round 5, 48-25. So Bradford Bulls, Featherstone, you'd probably say advantage Bradford in that, would we say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
And then 4th against 5th, Oldham against Halifax. Oldham, of course, had a bye round last week, but the week before they lost to Featherstone, which was interesting, bit of a surprise. Halifax come into the game having won the last 5 games They beat Sheffield. I mean, but if you actually look at the league table and who they've actually beaten, they've beaten Sheffield, they've beaten Hunslet, Barrow, Widnes, and Doncaster. So, the teams that Halifax have beaten are all pretty much down there at the bottom. Oldham are 2 up this season. They beat them 34-10 in round 11, and they beat them 23-20 in round 15. That was a lot closer. But, to quote Mark Applegarth, gents, would we say that you'd fancy Oldham at home to win that one?
Yeah, but Halifax have got a bit of confidence at the moment. So yeah, they have been playing the lower end of the table, but they're more than capable of causing an upset there. But yeah, you would expect Oldham to win that one at home.
Yeah,
yeah, you've got to fancy Oldham.
Oh, that's a good point. My apologies, Ben Macklin. He's absolutely right. We're going there now, Ben. So well done, mate. I will take that one firmly on the chin. You're quite right. We have got rugby on Sunday, but not, of course, in the early afternoon where these would have been perfectly placed for a full day of rugby league. But you're quite right, Ben. I will smack my own hand. You're spot on. Yes. So seeing as though Ben has led us exactly where we needed to go, shall we do this?
A nice segue.
Over to you, Mr. Nixon.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, big news this week. Lindsay Anfield stepping down as York Valkyrie head coach at the end of the season. She's been there for 5 years, joined in 2021. She took them to the Challenge Cup final that year. They lost to Saints, but they won the League Leaders' Shield in 2022 and 2023 and the grand finals in 23 and 24. She's been an absolute giant of the women's game as far as I'm concerned. She's done an absolutely excellent job at York. And that's reflected in the fact that she's coached 3 women of steel at York in Tara Stanley, Sinead Peach and Georgie Dagger, and also Georgia Roach when she was at Castleford. So, big raps. She's going to be concentrating on the youth development there.
Very important that they retained her, mate.
Say again, sorry?
Very important that they retained her.
Oh, mate, yeah. She's kind of, yeah. She's like a talisman for that club. I think, I spoke to her pre-season at the launch of the Women's Super League, and she knows so much about the game. She's spread the game to Africa. She's brought in African players. What a figurehead she is for the women's game. And it's going to be tough to follow her at York Valkyrie. I'm sure they've got something lined up, which will be interesting to see. But they've had a difficult season this season. They've had injuries, they've had players leaving. But yeah, it is, as you say, really, really important that she stays involved in with York and with the youth going forward. On another note, Danny McGifford, she finished top try scorer the regular season with 19 tries. She got one more than Amelia Brown of Huddersfield and Eva Hunter of Wigan. Eva Hunter at one point was running away with it, but Danny McGifford, who's had an absolute storming end of season there for the Saints, with Warrington sadly relegated. Their place could be taken by either London Broncos or Featherstone in the championship when they have their championship playoff. That's at Chiswick on September the 28th, and getting back to Super League playoff semi-finals with Saints taking on York at 6 p.m. Sunday and Wigan facing Leeds at 7:30 for a place in the grand final.
Saints is 5, mate. 5 p.m.
Is it 5? Is it 5? I apologise. And Wigan against Leeds at 7:30. Place in the grand final October the 5th, and that will be played at whichever the kind of the highest finishing team gets through to that final. So yeah, get watching those games. As I say every week, the standard is superb. We need to get back behind the women's game. And yeah, big raps to Lindsay Anfield and best luck to the future to somebody who we've said the word legend a lot tonight, and I think she'll go down as a legend of a pioneer.
Definitely.
Women's game in this country, yeah, definitely.
I agree with that. 2 good games. I mean, again, head to head this season between these two. York, of course, played in the semi-final against Saints, lost 10-6. They were unlucky that day. That prequel to the Lee Warrington game. We were there. We saw that.
Yeah.
Round 3, they won 16-12. So 2 very, very tight games. And then in round 12, 18-8. So Saints York have been really close this season. Do you see could York possibly create an upset there or not?
I think Saints have come into form at the right, as Saints do. They've come into form at the right time. They'll be desperate because they've been pipped to the League Leaders' Shield. They were beaten at Wembley. Knowing Saints the way I do, they'll be desperate to get to that grand final, redress the balance. So York, again, haven't had a great season by their high standards, and I think Saints will come through. I think it'll be close, but I think Saints will win.
Yeah, and then, of course, Wigan Leeds. I mean, Wigan have had the hoodoo over Leeds this year, 44-14 in the Challenge Cup, won 30 points to 16 as well against the Leeds Rhinos. You would expect the way Wigan have played this season from to get through that.
Yeah. I've waxed lyrical about Wigan all season. There's probably a bingo sheet out there just for Wigan women, as far as I'm concerned. But
so it could be a repeat of the Challenge Cup final and that great game that we had at the Totally Wicked in the final.
I'll be very, very, very surprised if it isn't a repeat of the Challenge Cup final.
And hopefully, again, in the spirit of saying what we said about going and watching Academy and Reserve Rugby League, anybody who saw that game at the Totally Wicked Stadium the other week, if it is a Wigan Saints final, that is deserving of a good crowd, because that was a really good standard of rugby league. It was a great game. So we'll keep a close eye on that on Sunday. It's now time for this.
This is Joel Scholes with your Fantasy League update. Let's see who the movers and shakers are for this week.
So here we go, Fantasy League time. Of course, no Joel, and we have got a change. Alan Bagley is still in the lead for the shirt and the season ticket, but Neil Ormston has now come into the top three with just 1 week to go. This is how the league table looks. It does look as if Alan Bagley is going to get at least one prize, maybe two. Neil Ormston, though, he is very, very close to second. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. Neil Ormston and Stuart Scaife, it's a massive week in the Fantasy League for you two. And, of course, Joel mentioned last week about why there's multiple teams. It's because the members... So members who are in the top tier get 3 teams. Those in the middle tier get 2. And, of course, members who are in the bottom tier get 1. Non-members can play along, of course, but are not eligible for the prizes. That is why. And, of course, they've invested so much time this season, and that's why they're sitting top of this league. So we wish both all 3 of them, Alan, Neil and Stuart, all the best as they go into round 27. Which one of them is going to take the season ticket, the replica shirt, and, of course, the hoodie? We will find out next week. Right, it's time for this.
Give your head a wobble.
Yes, it's time to give our heads a wobble. It's that time of the week again. It's becoming a bit of a cult classic, this one, isn't it? Give your head a wobble. People tend to enjoy this. So where are we going to start? Where are we going to start first? Oh dear. oh dear. Right, okay. I have to say, I think this must be. Is this a debut for KR in terms of talking about their own team? It could be. Could be. I think we have the odd KR fan that have gone on other people's pages and we've asked them to give their heads a wobble. But I think it's the first time where we've seen a KR fan shoot on his own team, which is a bit. Mark Holland weren't happy. Weren't happy at Trin. He was very disappointed. He said, first half stood still. Second half couldn't be bothered. Play all season on fire. Turn in a performance like this. Why? 80 minutes is all we ask. What? 80 minutes is all you ask. You've won a Challenge Cup final. You're going to win the League Leaders' Shield, regardless of what happened on Sunday. And you're saying, why? You're not Frank Drebin in police squad, mate, when you've been shot by a dart. Come on, my friend. Behave yourself. Shocking efforts. Shocking. Deary me. All the Robins fans are like that. Who is that man? Who is he? Tell you now. Don't go Craven Street. Tell you, be wearing hot dogs, mate. No, that is an absolute shocker. Anyway, Danny Quinn, Danny Quinn's Hull FC fan, and I could have picked a plethora of these lot. Unbelievable. They're not happy. Hull FC fans. They said about the Trinity game, imagine a professional team throwing a game out of fear. Fear? What are they fearful of? Plain FC. Oh, come on, behave yourself. You haven't laid a glove on them all year, man. And I'm afraid of playing you in the playoffs. Behave yourself. I mean, could you believe the amount of KR fans who are absolutely adamant they threw the game?
Crazy, isn't it?
It's quite that's quite a scandalous comment to make, accusing professional players, of throwing games. To be honest,
some said it was a betting scandal. There was a few that went the full hog and said, he should be investigated for a betting scandal.
Who won on Bet Steph last week then?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah. Steph was in on it. Absolutely unbelievable. Can you believe
He's a Malaysian cartel.
Mike Lewis tipped me off.
Wow, unbelievable.
He didn't. Just for clear, he didn't.
It's just unbelievable, lads, isn't it? Right, okay. As you can imagine, St. Helens fans were not too happy at the weekend. Glyn Hattersley, a proud St. Helens fan, he's upset. He said, Rush out, McManus out, Wello out, and all the OAPs. Basically fold the club. I mean, where McManus comes into this, I don't know. Without McManus, you don't have a club. I mean, it's just like, wow. I mean, and this is where I feel for the likes of McManus's and Ken Davies and Simon Moran's. They're plowing all this money into the club. And then you've got fans who can't realise they don't have a club if it's not for Aidan McManus. They haven't got a club.
He's plugging £2 million a season they're losing. I bet Glenn's not put £2 million in.
No, absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable. Right, what we're going to... Oh, yes. Paul Woodward. I'm sticking with St. Helens fans. I was filthy on this one. So, yours truly, because I understand what I mean by the word legend. There are legends of the game like Mal Meninga who are on a different stratosphere. You put Bevan French into that category when he retires. But then there's legends of the game that we respect and are worthy of the title legend for what they've given to the sport, given to the community, etc. Paul Woodward responded to me calling Leroy Cudjoe a legend online to don't disrespect the word legend by naming him as one. Wow. Wow, Paul.
I think his head needs to fall off. He would wobble it that much. That's That's not a head wobble. That's quite a disgraceful thing to say.
It most certainly is. It shows a lack of
I think Paul there is the disrespectful one. If I'm being honest.
I agree.
Yeah,
Sorry, Paul. Sorry, Paul. I think you've got to look broader. On debut. Okay. We had to.
Oh, it's not me, is it?
No, we had to. We had to do this because you can't have a give your head a wobble and not put Paul Wellens in this week because Paul said it was a hip flexor that made Kyle Felt fall over. Nothing to do. It was all to do with his hip flexor. When he came off his right, he felt it. No, he didn't. He felt his chin. Paul. Paul, mate, I bat you all year, but mate, no. That is a wobble of the highest order. But actually, do you know what? It's also a first on Give Your Head a Wobble. It's a first. It's the last one of the night. It's a first. Remember last week? Anybody remember Richard Dawson last week? Richard's back. He's back. I had to do it. And I'm not even changing it because actually last week it was a wobble. This week it's an ultimate wobble because, of course, Rich was a keyboard warrior last week, and he said about Wakefield that the wheels had fallen off. They were overachievers. They were a small club with no ambition, and Darryl Carr was a salt. That's travelled well, hasn't it, Rich? Unbelievable. So I thought I'd bring Richie back. I salute you. And we, of course, only for fun. Don't take it personally. You're going to put these things online. We're going to have a bit of a giggle about it. So that's exactly what we've done. So about standing wobbles this week. But I have to say, Paul Wellens,
take a bow.
Wow, absolutely. Oh, hang on, Daz Lord. Daz Lord's got in. What's Daz saying? Hopefully there's no language. You didn't check it. All the fans who said KR through the game to keep FC out of the playoffs need to give their heads a shake or a wobble. One angry Trin fan. Daz Lord, couldn't agree with you more, sir. Let's hope that has given you a little bit of, karma, that you've been able to share that. We share it with you. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, should we do Team of the Week?
Go on then.
Here we go. Team of the Week is sponsored by The Good Estate Agent. With an average turnaround time of 3 weeks, if you want your house sold quickly, then contact Stefan today on 01942 356 577. Quote Super League Raw for 33% off.
It's the Super League Raw Team of the Week for round number 26 for the Cudjoe Stadium for 2025. Here we go again, and at one, he likes to jow it. He likes to jow it. Oh yes, Max Jowett returns to the starting 17 for the Trin, and just like your favourite Chewit folks, Hull KR found the pain of Max long-lasting and hard to swallow. At 2, unlike the name, there's nothing barren about Harvey's try return this season. 11 now in Super League for 2025, and as for Harvey's, get him a free sofa for his efforts so he can sit back, relax and enjoy the Ashes in style. At 3 is a cross between a Henderson Bigfoot and a pot of the finest marmalade. Harvey Robertson, well, you can hunt him down all you want, but he continues to shred the best defences with his smooth and silky skills. Get the toast, folks. At 4, and keeping his place week on week is my Miler. He's only gone and had his winter fix, and that was 2 weeks of quality performances, keeping him firmly in our centres. At 5 is Abbas Miskit, and just like his namesake Swedish sensations, Matt Pete took a chance on his fitness, and Miskey said, gimme, a try before midnight, and as the winner, he took it all. At 6 is a cross between Spandau Ballet and Becky Lynch. Yes, Jake was the man, and Saturday, he went round and round he goes. And don't you know, this was the game he came back for. Beautiful play from the Truman. At 7, he's no lino. No. He doesn't look good in halls, kitchens and bathrooms, as no one walks on Mason. He walks all over the best in Super League, and Lino is having the season of his career, and there is more to come. At 8 is a cross between a body of water and a hunter of English folklore. And whilst he doesn't have antlers, ride a horse, or haunt an oak tree at midnight, Robbie Mulhern is becoming a legendary figure of the Leopards and one of the best front rowers around. At 9, well, I can't sit still. When he pappy shakes, his hips went to the left, his body went to the right. He can score against the Saints all through the night, oh baby. Go on, Edwin boy, come on and shake. Lee had it in the bag. Ooh, when he pappy shakes. Go on, lad. At 10 is the Trinity action hero himself, Mike McMeekin. Hippie-ki-yay, mother, I hear you cry, for another dominating performance down the middle from Michael. Who needs M16s when you can devastate bodies like this? And yes, he will be back this weekend to get the job done for the mighty Trin. Up the Trin. At 11, he's not an uncle. Don't confuse him, folks, with Mintballs. Joe Greenwood yet again produced a second row performance that was fresh, tangy and tasty and lingered for hours after the final hooter. At 12 is the man Lloyd Grossman loves to talk about. Let's look at the evidence. A versatile power tool. Some would say an antique with lots of modern day charm. And body of an artful dodger. Who would buy a man like Zach? Well, Cartwright, bravo to you. And at 13, he's no Andy. Oh no, he leaves the acting to Kyle Felt. He's no Sergio, albeit he has been known to have the odd swing this season. He's Benjamin Garcia, who has returned to his rightful position and is showing the league he is the godfather and the master of number 13, ladies and gentlemen. This is your tip of the week for round number 26.
So there you go, boys. Just one left. Just one left. What are we going to do on a Tuesday night about Team of the Week?
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? Sad. It's coming to an end.
So I expect you, Mr. Sale, to be doing your best Delilah for your miler this weekend and a bit of hippie shape for Mr. Pape. Do you like my new chants for your Leopards, mate?
They're brilliant, mate. Yeah, as always, very, very interesting. I'm sure the chat's loving those. So, well done, mate. Very good.
I like to jow it as well, Greg. That was a good one, wasn't it?
I think you've got to get Robbie Mulhern into the tune of Mull and Kintyre.
Well, I know. I've been debating that. It's tough. It's tough. I've thought about that, but I just can't make it work at the moment. I just can't. But anyway,
on that one.
Enough of the jesting. Let's get into the actual plays themselves. And had to be littered with Trin. I don't know if Carla Collier. She's that impressed that she's actually donated a $5 for that. Worth anybody's money. Carla Collier says she's absolutely loved it. She's got in on the super chat and said, "Here's a $5. Outstanding." Carla, Carla, get singing Yamila. Oh, my, Yamila. What a tune that'd be on the terraces. But anyway, back to Wakefield Trinity. Can you believe that Martin O'Fire on a different platform picked 5 Wigan Warriors players in his team to week this week? Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I can. It's Martin O'Fire.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You know, I'm not being funny. Don't get me wrong, Wigan played well, and yeah, they played Castleford, behave, and battered them and all. But no, Trinity, it's only right and it's only appropriate that Trin had 4 players in this, and I think that those 4 all play. I mean, Cameron Scott was unlucky and all.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a good game. No, they were great, Wakefield, and the 4 that have been selected there were brilliant. And big shout out to Truman. We've questioned that and whether they should be playing Jewett at 6 and Rourke at fullback. I think Truman's been great the last few weeks, and he's really started to get a partnership going with Lino, which is fantastic for the Wakefield team. But I think having Jewett back this week just give him that extra spark, and you could see in their overall performance what he brings to that team, led by McMeekin as well, who was phenomenal against the superb KR pack. So brilliant to see so many Trin in there, and they're going to be a threat in the playoffs. Mark my words, they are. But the other one's Miski I wanted to mention, because obviously someone who's not played a lot this season, and he did really well in that game, and he's obviously competing with Marshall and Eckersley for those wings positions. So good to see him have a really good game for Wigan. And Garcia at 13, another brilliant performance by him, and just goes to prove that when we questioned the 9 shirt for him this season, we've been proved right since he's gone back to 13. He's been brilliant for Catalan.
Yeah, he has been, hasn't he, Reggie? But Garcia for 2 weeks running, well, since he put him back there, that's his position, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. Ben Garcia is a loose forward all day long. Zach Hardacre in there again. Second row loose forward, centre. He's played in the halves. I think he's played centre and fullback as well.
Yeah.
For Hull this season. What a season that guy's had. And we had a chat about this a few weeks ago, and a lot of Hull fans in the chat were saying Hardacre for Player of the Year. The guy, we kind of questioned this signing at the beginning of the season, but he's proved us wrong.
Yeah.
And, I'm happy for that. He's proved us wrong. Joe Greenwood, an injury hit season, but when he's on form, he's a fantastic second rower. Uriah Hanley as well. What an end of the season he's having. I'm sure Steph will say he's been great all season, but he seems to be, when he's played, building week on week and getting better week on week, which is great for Leaf fans going into the playoffs. If I'm a Leaf fan, I'm very, very confident about the playoffs.
And they should be, at the end of the day, and so they should be. And of course, where Hardacre is concerned, I think Aidan Caesar will probably take most of the awards dished out at Hull FC's end of season dinner. But I tell you, Zach Hardacre deserves so much credit in dispatches because he's been outstanding. And Joe Greenwood as well for the Giants. Again, another player who for me this year, he's been in a couple of team of the weeks, Joe. In second row this weekend, they were all much of a muchness. There wasn't an awful lot that stood out, but Joe did, to be fair, and fully deserving of his place. And like I say, we always pick players that we believe were the best in their position. Dawn Baker's getting a little bit, touchy in the fact that she's saying that Miski's on the wrong side. So on that basis, I'll drop him. I'll just decide who I'm dropping him for, Dawn. I'll just have no Wigan players in there.
Get Brandon Keenan.
That'll make her happy, won't it? That'll make her happy. Just put Brandy in there. But no, look, bottom line is Miski, as I think Steph said, absolutely right. Wingers are wingers for me. And I'm going to Abbas, to come back from that knee injury and produce a performance like that, even though it was Casford, even though it was a cakewalk, coming back from injury, putting in a performance like that, well done, Abbas, mate. Great effort. Congratulations. Right, time for this.
Ooh, pass me a cucumber sandwich.
Yeah, that's the thing, boys. Only one more week left. The cucumber sandwiches. Oh, where's the season gone, lads? Where's the season gone? Friday. Right, let's get to Headingley Stadium. And actually, to be fair to our friends at the Goldthorpe, and we had this chat on Round Unpack, Steph. Of the two, Kiri and Farge, we said we thought Farge actually probably had a pound for pound better game.
Yeah. I'd give Farge 3 and Kiri 2.
Well, they gave Farge 3. They gave Kiri 2. They gave Garcia 1. I gave Garcia 3. I thought Garcia's defensive efforts, like I said on Round Unpack, 51 tackles.
Yeah.
You know, in a game like that where that really mattered.
He made as many tackles as he did meters in that game.
Yeah, and that says everything, doesn't it? That's
I thought Garcia stood up well in that game.
Yeah, it was class. Right, let's go.
Game that nobody expected them to win as well.
I'm going to leave that till last.
What?
I can't tell you. I'm going to leave that till last. We'll go to Wigan. He could have been anyone. And to be fair, they gave 3 for Fireman, they gave 2 for Field, and they gave 1 for Zach Eckersley. Eckersley scored a try, set one up. I went Miskey personally. I went Fireman 3, Field 2, but I went Miskey. But there went Eckersley. I'm not going to split hairs over that. Let's go to Trinity against KR. They gave 3 for Jowett, and I said on Round Unpacked it was close between Jowett and Leno. I have no issue with that because I gave Jowett 2 and Leno 3. I've got no issue with that at all. They did give a point to Matty Staunton though.
No, Meakin.
Yeah, that's where I went. Yeah, Mikey, Mac. And Truman as well. Truman had a good game.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't know where they
tough,
get started from. Yeah, I don't know where they got that from. Warrington, 3 points for Barron. Yeah, 2 for Caesar. Yeah, 1 for Hardacre. No issues there.
No Warrington players in there.
No, absolutely not. They were debating giving 3 points for Sam Burgess, but they thought that'd be a step too far, by all accounts. We now go to Huddersfield against Salford. 3 points for Wolford, spot on. Again, defensively outstanding. 2 points for Jack Walker. Didn't see that.
No.
Didn't see that. But they did give 1 for Greenwood. So they could see Greenwood had a good game in second row.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to save the best to last. Let's go to the LSV, shall we? Right, the LSV. 3 points. Went to Robbie Mulhern. He's in my team of the week, but was he man of the match? Don't know.
I'd give him maybe 1.
Yeah, he weren't man of the match, was he? They gave 2 for Lamb. And the first try setup was good. I thought he had a solid game, Lammy, to be fair. Would I put him in your top 3, top 2? Don't know if I would. Right, you got a point.
Mike Hanley.
No.
Well felt.
No. It is a Saints player. It is a Saints player.
Robertson.
How?
Well, no. So if we add up to now that we're saying, you said felt. I think that was tongue in cheek. You've gone Robertson. Yeah. Do you know what? Robertson had a good game.
Yeah.
He set the trap and scored a try. He had a good game, did Robertson. So 22 tackles in D, 18 carries, 126 meters. Yeah.
It'll be Wellsby, won't it? They'll give it Wellsby.
Jack, 25 tackles, 24 carries, 90 meters from him, 3 tackle busts. No, it's not Jack.
No.
It's not Jack. No.
Clark.
Daz Clark, great battle between him and Ipape. 31 tackles from Dazza, 4 dummy runs in the game as well. 3, he did a defensive effort. Is that not Daz?
It wasn't Daz Clark.
Just trying to think of players.
Wormsley.
He went off. In fact, you know what? I can see where you go with that as well. Because crazier things have happened, haven't they? The answer, to put everybody out of the misery who don't already know, Curtis Sirenen got a point. Just let that sink in. Curtis Sirenen got a point. He was a top 3 player at the LSV on Friday. Blinken, you missed that one. Just like Kyle blinked and missed the fact that no hand had got him and decided to go over on his ankle.
Did Pape not get anything?
Ebony Pape got zip, Eddie do da. Got nothing. I gave him man of the match. Eddie Pape. Thought he was outstanding. Anyway, there you go. One more week of that nonsense. But there you go.
I'm going to miss this more.
Absolutely. Here we go. Predictions League. Mr. Sale, just 6 points in it. The members, very close. Greg, I think your podium place is looking safe. But I think it's between Steph and the members for the honour of this year.
Yeah.
It all comes down to round 27.
Well done, guys.
And then at the bottom, look how close it is between us at the bottom as well. That's well and truly up for grabs and all. That's going to be interesting. Right, okay. These are the fixtures. Of course, KR taking on the Warrington Wolves. FC go up against the Catalan Dragons. Saints, they are up against the Casford Tigers. The Leopards go up against the Giants. Salford bring down their Super League curtain against Wakefield. We wish Salford well. Nice of Wakefield to use my commentary for on their latest advert as well. I got tipped off on Sunday night that had happened. Thanks for asking permission for that, Wakey Trinity. I would have given it anyway, but thanks. And the only reason I'm doing that is because people get really precious over that type of stuff. I'm not really that bothered, but I will be giving you a call over other things. Mr. Hughes. Yes, Wigan Warriors taking on Leeds, which is arguably the tie of the round, which we'll get to in a minute. Right, let's just, for those of you who don't know, let's just sort this out. If KR were to fall to Warrington, it ain't happening.
Oh, sorry.
But if they were to fall to Warrington, then there is a feasibility that Wigan could finish top if they scored enough points. So even if they only lost by 1 point to Warrington, not going to happen. It'd be 40 points. Could Wigan put over 40 on Leeds? Hey, never say never. So I think Wigan's team selection will probably be heavily biased by KR's result. I think KR beat Warrington. I don't think we need to talk too much about that. It will be first and second as it currently stands. Then you've got the Leopards underneath that, of course, Leeds. If Leeds don't win, Lee finish third. Simple as that. If all Lee have to do is win their game and they're there, if the way would have fallen Huddersfield and Leeds was to win, ain't going to happen. Then it would be Leeds in third. I think the top four are pretty much done. We know the fifth position of Saints is done, and then it's Wakey, Hull FC. If Wakey win, they finish sixth. If Wakey lose and FC win, FC finish sixth. So that's what we've got to look forward to this weekend, just in case people weren't up to speed. I think it's top six as it is. If it could get me 50 points on the prediction league, I'd probably say I'll go with that, and I probably won't be far wrong. But anyway, that can't happen. So anyway, let's go to the first one, of course, the crowning of the Robins, a deserved crowning of the Robins. Over 27 rounds, nobody would argue that the Robins have been the best team. Robins fans might be a bit concerned, like we said on the final whistle, that having won 20 out the first 21 games, they've now won 6 out the last 10. Are they hitting the skids at the wrong time? We'll find that out. Maybe the week off will do them a lot of good. They did look tired against Trinity, I have to say. Strong squad, leaving nothing to chance, and nor should they. And then, of course, you look at the wire. And again, going back to Greg Roach's question earlier in the show, James Duffy, squad builder. Lucas Green, Ben Hartle, Adam Holroyd, Ewan Irwin, Toby King, Tom McKinney, Joe Philbin have come through that pathway. Kai Taylor-Ray, both Hewlett boys, Luke Thomas, Danny Walker have all come from, and Lachlan Webster. All of those players have started on the pathway with Warrington. And as a Warrington fan out there, that should give you a little bit of hope that Warrington are changing. For too long, they've been a buying club. For too long, they've had, people come in and not like Josh Maguire, perfect example in case, what's going on this season. You've got players that have come in on big money that have not really run their blood to water for Warrington. These lads will. Now, whether they can get up to the right level, that's the excitement of it. That's the excitement of how good can they be. We already know there's a handful of these that have got it in them and are already doing it. It's going to be very interesting to see. However, it's a young side that are coming up against the League Leaders Shield winners. And I think for me, this is going to be painful, but good experience, like we've seen FC last year with their young lads. It's an experience for these lads. I'm just disappointed, Greg, that the consequence of this is Warrington are probably not going to win the Reserve League. Leeds should win that comfortably now because of the amount of reserve players that are having to play on Friday against KR. Thursday.
Yeah, that does make me quite angry actually, because those reserve teams have deserved their place in that grand final. But what can you do when you have injuries and suspensions at this stage of the season?
And other things
too. Yes, and other things. It's a shame. It's a shame that Warrington's chances of winning that game at the reserves have been hampered by this. They've got 3 fullbacks in there: Lachlan Webster, Kai Taylor-Ray.
I don't think Lachlan plays. I think Lachlan drops out.
You got
the reserve game.
Yeah, you got Max Wood, who's also a Warrington lad who went to Wigan and then came back to us. So not a product of our youth system, but is a Warrington lad. It's going to be tough for the kids. there's been a lot of comments on social media about the fact that the older heads at Warrington were laughing and joking with the Hull players on Saturday while the young kids actually walked off the pitch and looked really, really down about that result. Hopefully that, that sits in the minds of those senior players, that our youngsters were disgusted with the result on Saturday, and that gets into the head of the senior players and they react to that. Hull KR will win this easily, 18 plus. I can't see any other result. They'll react to that Wakefield performance. They didn't throw that game, no matter what Hull KR fans say. They didn't throw that game. Wakefield was superb. Every team has a game like that, one or two games like that. No matter how well you're playing, no matter how poor you're playing, you will turn around and win a game by a certain amount of points. It's 18 plus OKR all the way, and it's a shame really for those young kids.
It is for the reserve element of it. I completely agree.
Is.
Steph, if you're Willie Peters, are you tempted to shelve JWH for this game and just let Doro go in there instead?
Yeah, potentially. Given the senior players sometimes need an extra week off, don't they? And I know they're going to get a week off for the playoffs. But he could do maybe with 2 weeks rest. I don't know. It all depends on how he's feeling, I suppose. And you've got to listen to the player feedback with your senior players, haven't you? So, but no, I probably would, just in case anything happened in the semi-final to JWH. Gives Doro another game under his belt, doesn't it? So, so we'll see what happens. What I would say on the Warrington side is don't forget what a young Warrington team did against Wigan before the Challenge Cup final. That's something that I would take into consideration in this one. They're going to be these young lads who do come in, and we know we're going to, based on that squad, we're going to see some of them. They'll be well up for it and wanting to put a performance in front of Sam Burgess. So, but with that in mind, even with that, it's celebration at Craven Park on Thursday night. KR 18 plus.
Yeah, I agree, and I think I just thought that what the message to the Warrington players is. I mean, if there's a good thing, there's very few players there in that Warrington squad who've had the hurt of this season. So so it's a case of lads, just go and play rugby. Just go and play. Just go and play. What will be. Just go and play your game, and it'll be again. It's actually made it. It should make it interesting for Warrington fans, because if this was a fully fit Warrington squad, you'd probably, who cares? But the fact they've got an opportunity, just seeing how these lads go. And we know they're going to lose, and I think they do lose. But I think what they will show, I expect a good handful of these to show, is just how good they're going to be in the future. They're going to show you glimpses, and that should get you a little bit excited. Nobody in the chat giving any love to Warrington, nor should they. Everybody going the way of KR by 18 plus. And of course, like we said, that will be a deserved League Leaders Shield win. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back in the phone-in. Wrong teams, don't worry about that. Wrong day as well. It's the wrong graphic. I mean, that's just absolutely shocking again. I mean, honestly, I just don't know what goes on in my head at times. I have got the right one somewhere. It just annoys me. I mean, I've looked at that I don't know how many times, and I've got it wrong every time. That's the one I want. That one there. That's the way. That's what it should look like. There. Live, 10:15 p.m. this Thursday night. At the end of that game, KR Warrington Wolves, we will be doing a special phoning on the League Leaders Shield winners. Come and join us. Come and join us. Celebrate your team's win, KR fans, and of course, perfectly welcome Warrington Wolves fans if they want to come on and talk about their team as well. More than happy for that to happen as well. And then finally, a little bit of a treat for you this Saturday evening at 5 p.m. should you wish, there will be a full-time phone-in for round 27 for everybody to get involved in as well. So 2 phone-ins this weekend. Do come and join us for that. Give me head of Wobble, Dave. Stephen, that's not kind. Not kind. Anyway, these are the squads for FC against Catalan. Sorry, I've gone KR 18 plus in case I didn't say that. Right, FC against Catalan. They're the squads. FC pretty much in a similar vein to last week, as to are the Catalan Dragons. Greg, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I did think long and hard of this one. But I think that performance by Cats last week was absolutely superb. I know Hull are depleted as well this week. They've got a couple of players back, which will boost them. But I just get one of those feelings that Cats are going to win this 1-8 because that performance, wherever that came from last week against Leeds, no matter what you say about the Leeds performance, Cats were magnificent. And I just think they're going to continue that this week. And I think 1-8, Catalan.
Wow. Mr. Sale?
Yeah, really looking forward to this game. Actually, two teams that had really good wins last week. I think Catalans was probably a bit more impressive than Hull's with the opposition they faced. But yeah, but I think the only thing for me with the Catalan one is there was a lot of effort went into that Leeds win, and how much will that have taken out the tank for them? And obviously, I don't think they've stayed over. I think they went back, so it's obviously some more travelling for them. FC, on the other hand, got a couple of players back. I thought they played pretty decent in attack against Wire. I think that was their performance last week for Catalan. I think FC are going to want to put on a real performance to see at the end of the season. I'm going to go Hull FC 18 plus.
Ooh, I did think about that,
Big score from the Sale. Right, in the chat, a lot of love for Catalan. Steve Rudge has gone Dragons 1-8. Keith Lambert has gone Catalan 9-17. Simo's gone FC 9-17. Nick's gone FC 9-17. I'm going FC 9-17. So there's a few changes in there. In terms of the members, they've gone Catalan 1-8. So they've gone the way you as well, Reggie. So like I say, very, very interesting indeed. That could be a big swing, that game, actually, where the top of the table is concerned. Because Steph, you've gone FC 18 plus, and the members have gone Catalan 1-8. So that's a potential swing there, which is interesting. So that keeps the prediction league alive and well, doesn't it, boys? Which is what we want. We don't want to. We don't want to forfeit, do we? Right, let's go to the next game. Saint Helens against. Don't forget, we have got a quick snippet of our 1-1 with Brad O'Neill still to come. If you need to play, so that's coming up in a moment's time. But before we get to that, Saints against Casford Tigers. Steph, Saints, can they bounce back? Or again, will we see like what we saw Castleford do against Wakey, and then Wakey do it against KR? Does Castleford turn up on Friday night? It's a bonkers season. Who knows? Do you expect Saints though to fire through, mate?
Yes, I do. It's going to be 18 plus the Saints.
Nice in terms of time. Thank you for that, Greg.
Saints 18 plus.
Again, thank you for the time. Wonderful. I agree. Saints 18 plus. Lee Leopards taking on the Huddersfield Giants. The Giants, of course, just getting past Salford. Lee will want to continue their form and their momentum, no doubt about it. Greg, your thoughts on this one?
Oh, Lee 18 plus. Sorry, Huddersfield Giants fans. So they're out celebrating in the streets now because I've tipped them to lose. Yeah, Lee 18 plus. Lee are performing well, and I can't see any other result than a walkover for Lee in this one. Sorry, Giants fans.
Yeah, Tessie's back, isn't he, Steph?
Yeah,
Tessie's back, but Edwin's out.
Yeah, well, you probably put Dwyer and McNamara in on the bench, Dwyer.
Yeah.
All right, mate. So where are you going?
We always tend to have close games against Huddersfield.
Beat you last year.
Yeah, they did beat us last year, and I think that their place has been close as well, hasn't it? I think wasn't that the one where they came back in the last minute and nearly pipped us this year as well, which is crazy. Lee 18 plus.
18. Okay. Fantastic. In the chat, is anybody changing the members? They've gone Lee, surely, 18 plus. Joel has gone Lee 18 plus. Nicola Burtonwood, she went to Saints 1917. Simo Saints 18 plus in the last game. A lot of love for Lee. Anybody gone Huddersfield? No, everybody's Lee 18 plus, Lee 9-17. So people seeing it a comfortable win for the Leopards. Right, Salford against Wakey. Steph?
Wakey 18 plus.
Yeah, I agree. Greg?
Salford, Wakey 18 plus.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's going Trinity 18 plus. And then we've got Wigan taking on the Leeds Rhinos. And before we get into this, let's listen to a brief snippet of a 1-1 with Mr. Brad O'Neill. Yeah, thanks. Hello, Brad. How are you? You well?
I'm all right, mate. Are you?
Yeah, good to meet you, mate. Good to meet you. Self-reflection is important in life as well as sport. This season, how do you reflect on your season and your form? How are you finding it?
Self-reflection, good word. Reflect on it daily through training. I reflect on it through games this year. Coming back from that injury, it was like I was saying before, it was a tough thing because I was trying to guide myself through it. There was probably some weeks where I feel like I didn't play long enough, or there's times where I've not nailed my skill, or times where I might have missed a tackle, and you reflect on it and you go into training the next couple of days and you're working hard at it. And I feel like that's been a constant theme of reflecting on the days and weeks gone by and just trying to get better leading up to the end of the year, knowing that we can obviously get a chance to play in the playoffs and hopefully bigger things. So reflecting on, I feel like I feel like it's been an okay year for myself. Hopefully I can finish it off better than the start, but I'm pretty happy to come back from an injury like the ACL. I did it in a good time, come back in 7.5 months. So on reflecting on that, it's a pretty good job what the physios and the training staff did with me to be able to get me back in that time. And then it's the hard work really through the season, but hopefully my form can keep on growing.
So there you go, a little bit of a snippet from the Brad O'Neill interview. Members, that will land in full for you tomorrow. You'll get the full sit down with Brad where we talk England, we talk what he's currently working on in his game and what he thinks of his fellow nines. It's an interesting discussion. So you've got that to look forward to tomorrow when that lands in the member-only areas. Brad O'Neill, he's only 23. You mustn't forget that. Of course, missed out on the grand final last year for injury. He will really want to have a very strong end to the season, won't he, Steph?
He will, yeah. He's done really well coming back from that because it was a bad one when it an ACL.
Yeah,
that he's come back from. So yeah, and good to see him because obviously he's one in contention, isn't he, for England 9? I think Litton gets in just in front of him at the moment for me, but he'll definitely be around the England squad in that 9 position. So yeah, great for him to get back, and he's had a pretty solid season.
He has indeed. Greg, you'll be tuning in for the full interview tomorrow, I'm sure.
Also will.
Absolutely. It's a great chat. It's a great chat. Daz Lord, Wakefield Trinity fan, he's all over it tonight. It's Daz. Steve Rudge needs you, mate. You need to do that QR code. You need to become a member of our Daz. Steve Rudge, he's very lonely. He's Steve on the final whistle and all that. The year you've had, mate, come and celebrate with the community, get involved. Right, what a game. It's a shame it's not a shootout for second. From a neutral perspective, that'd have been lovely, wouldn't it, this week? This was a shootout for second. But it's not. But of course, there's pride on the line. There's that psychology piece which gets dismissed a lot of the time going into the playoffs between these two sides because of where Leeds are finishing. I'm right in thinking that they can't meet unless it's the final if they finish where they currently are at. But it is still a marker in terms of form. Leeds need to produce a better performance against the Warriors. What we do know about the Warriors is they're starting to click. I would never say the win against Castle was a statement win, but they were clicking, and that's very good if you're a Wigan fan.
They can meet them, by the way. If Wakefield beat Lee,
if you lose, if you beat, but but unlikely, but yeah. That's not actually. No, actually, it's not, is it? Yeah, they can. Yeah, all right. Well, we'll just say they can. So psychology-wise, yeah, it's important. Greg, in terms of this game, Leeds, Wigan, Leeds have to turn up, and I think they need to show the fans something off the back of last week.
Yeah. That was a shock result. That Catalan, nobody expected that. Nobody expected that Catalan result last week. Where that came from, I certainly don't know.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. We've got an emergency. We've got an emergency, ladies and gentlemen. If you live in the northeast of England, okay, beware if you're going out. There are flying pigs. There's flying pigs in Hull. It's very, very important that you take precautions. There could be low flying pigs in Hull. Big weather warning there. Craig Forth. Yeah, he's concerned that Warrington's youngsters could still give Wigan a chance at the League Leaders Shield. There's a lot of pigs flying right now in Hull. Take precautions. And if you go out, take a brolly because it could be mud. It could be something else falling from the sky. We know what pigs are like. So be careful if you're up there in Hull. Sorry, Greg. I had to put that weather warning out.
You frightened me then. I thought something had happened. Yeah, Craig, step away from the beer, my friend, please. Yeah. Going back to what I was saying, Leeds... I don't think Leeds are guaranteed a place in the top 6. Yes, they didn't expect that last week. Nobody expects them to go to Wigan after last week and win. And if they lose, it's not the end of the world. But Leeds have been very, and this is a stupid comment, Leeds have been very Leeds-like this year in coming under the radar and found themselves a nice little spot in the top 6. So I don't think Leeds will be that concerned if they lose that game because it's all about now the playoffs. So, I think Hull KR are going to beat Warrington. Wigan will probably beat Leeds. Leeds will not be too bothered about it. They're still top 6. So, and I think that makes probably an open game.
The fourth, mate. The
top 4.
Top 4, mate. Yeah.
Top 4 was still between.
Still. I think you're doing a disservice. The top 4, mate.
Well, whatever details, but they are happy. I think Leeds fans will be delighted that they're given the last few seasons. They will be absolutely delighted that they are where they are. Beat Wigan, lose to Wigan. I don't think that's important in the grandest scheme of things as far as Leeds are concerned.
I think for me, pride doesn't get you anywhere, and I think for me, they need to. For me, Steph, here, I think they need to probably rest a few players, Leeds, and just get ready for that playoffs. Because like for example, Jake Connor. We know he's got a rib injury, and we know it's probably been worse than they're saying. They're saying that he could be injected to play. You don't do that in a game like this. You give him an extra week, don't you? Jake Connor cannot play this.
No, absolutely not. And first and foremost, I think Craig must have visited McDonald's this evening because he's clutching at that many paper straws with that one. So, but yeah, no. If I, well, both teams I think will rest players. I think Farriman I think will stay in at 7, especially. I mean, he was undroppable after that performance, wasn't he? So,
Steph, I know you don't like to be interrupted, but I'm going to interrupt you here. If Farriman has another blinder, what happens in the semi?
Well, that's why Matt Peake's paid the big bucks and given 7-year contract, isn't he? So, so he'll make that decision, I'm sure. But you've got to think that Harry's big game experience would come into it with that, and I'm sure Jack would understand that as well. I'm sure he's over the moon to be getting his opportunity at the moment, just to get in the first team and have a run of games. So, yeah. But I think this is more about Wigan. And their team and their performances. They played Castleford last week. They'll want a test. This week they'll want a solid game. I think you're right. I think they'd be crazy to play Connor. One knock on whatever it was, whether it was a fractured rib or whether it was a pop rib cartilage, whatever that injury was. It's so easy in rugby league to do that again, and it'll be very sore as well still after a week and a half. So yeah, I don't expect Connor to play now. They've got their home semi-final sewn up, so it's expecting Lee to beat Huddersfield as well. So by LSV, so I'm going to go for a big Wigan win. I'm going to go Wigan 18+.
Yeah, I've gone Wigan 8. I've gone Wigan 9-17 actually. Joel's gone Wigan 1-8. The members have gone Wigan 9-17. What are you thinking, Greg?
Yeah, I've gone Wigan 9-17.
Have you gone 9-17?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do see a Wigan win. I think it's very, very important though that Leeds. I think look, Leeds again. Getting to the stats, Leeds should have won that game. They just didn't execute. I just think they just owe the fans something. They just owe a bit more than what they gave them against Catalan. But hey, should be fascinating. Fair. It's the game to watch on Friday night, no doubt about it.
Definitely.
It's going to be a cracking game. Hopefully, we get that. That said, I think like I said, some of the other games could be tasty as well. But that's the one for me. Say that though. FC. Is FC Catalan on the same night as that Thursday? It's Thursday, isn't it?
Is it?
I think it's Thursday. In fact, actually, let's go. Here we go. Yeah, it is. Oh, what a phone-in that could be. Imagine if KR had just won the league and FC fall to Catalan. What a phone-in. We're not going just yet. My apologies. Press the wrong button. We're getting that giddy. But yeah, unbelievable. That'd be an incredible phoning. Outstanding stuff. Right, okay, that's us done. We will, of course, be seeing you plenty of times between now and next week when we're back for Super League Raw Weekly, the final one of the regular season. We will be back for the 2 phone-ins. Don't forget, 10:15 on Thursday night, 5 o'clock on Saturday night. We're going to be doing a phone-in. Make sure you join us for that. We will be here on YouTube. And, of course, the link for you to do that will be in the post. People have been saying about the memberships that they can't see what the benefits are. If you're on a mobile phone, there's a little blue arrow. Press the little blue arrow on your mobile phone on the membership screen and it gives you a full list of all the benefits of being a member. That's how you do that. We'd love you to come and join us and become a member. What's coming now is the top performers and what we're going to be getting up to over the course of the next 7 days. On behalf of us all, enjoy your final weekend of full rugby league. Playoffs are just around the corner. Bye for now, folks.
See you soon, guys.
Here are your top performers after 26 rounds of the Betfred Super League. The new top try scorer is Jay Field of the Wigan Warriors. He's on 24. Whilst the most try assists have still come from Lachlan Lamb of Lee Leopards on 40. The most metres made is still Lachlan Miller of Leeds Rhinos, 4,108. Whilst the most clean breaks is still Budgie Joe Burgess for the Robins, 28. The top tackler is Jared O'Connor of the Leeds Rhinos, 993. Whilst the top tackle buster is once again Lachlan Miller, 184 for the Rhinos. The most hard metres made down the middle have come from Alex Wormsley of St Helens, 3,124, whilst the most offloads continue to come from Tane Milne of Huddersfield Giants, 46. And we have a new top goal kicker for Super League. It's Arthur Morg on 74 for Hull KR. These are your top performers after 26 rounds.